Okay, so this is segment 2, and I'm still in the same location. I'm going to show you a little bit about what we're doing here and how we do it. First of all, I'll show you here. I wear this around my waist typically. It's just a little fanny pack or pouch that has some zippered compartments. It's where I keep my vials and other things that I collect my samples in. Keeps them handy. There's that. I have my little holder, it's just a little spring-loaded holder that I put my forceps in. These are some fine-tipped jeweler's forceps. They're good for picking up ticks and putting them into vials. I'll show you what some of these vials look like and how we preserve these samples. It's just one of the ways that we do it. Sometimes we just put them in vials that have alcohol in them. What I have here are some little plastic vials. They have glued into them a little fine mesh in the bottom, which allows for, air and so forth. I have a little lid that's got a part of the plastic cut out, and I have some pieces of latex that overlap each other. And what this allows me to do is to grasp the ticks with the forceps and then put them through the lid, through the little flap of overlapping latex, and then I can just let go of the tick and pull the forceps out, and then they stay inside the vial so they're not crawling all over the place and getting out of control. And then I can just put some grass or some other green vegetation in here to keep a little bit of moisture, and then that keeps the ticks fine. They'll live in here for quite a long time if there's enough moisture, but it also allows for some airflow, which keeps the moisture from getting too high. It's not that they need oxygen, it's that they, if you get too much moisture in here, they will start to grow fungus or mold in here, and that'll actually kill the ticks. So I don't want that to happen. I want to try to keep them alive until I get close to testing them. Another way to collect them is to just have a little vial with some alcohol in there and just put them in alcohol and preserve them in there. Another method that we use sometimes that also works really well are these vials here. Same setup in terms of collecting them, but these vials have, it's kind of hard to see inside there, but these vials have a little bit of plaster of Paris that has been mixed with some activated charcoal, and then you mix it and pour it in here and let it dry. And you can put just a couple of drops of water in there, and that holds the moisture in for them. And the activated charcoal helps to prevent growth of fungus and that sort of thing, so they'll stay in there, alive in there for a long time too. So that's just another option if you want to keep your ticks alive and you don't want to just put them in alcohol. Okay, so what else we have here is the way we collect ticks. People often ask me, how do you collect ticks? Well, it's really not very difficult. You can just walk around in the woods if you want to, but what we often use is what's called a cloth drag or flag, but I tend to use a drag. It's usually just about a 1 square meter cloth. This one's getting a little bit worn out. I tend to use felt for mine because felt is very, very durable, much more durable than flannel, which a lot of people use. And I like to put a dowel rod here at one end and tie some rope to it, and then I can just pull this along behind me and drag it across the ground, and ticks will climb onto that and stay on that for a short period of time. And then you can turn it over every so many steps, and or for some distance that you walk, and then check it. It does collect a lot of debris, and it sometimes becomes difficult to pick out the ticks on there amidst all the other debris, but your eye gets kind of trained to that after a while, and you can do it. So I'm getting ready to walk around in this area here in this person's backyard, and through this pine straw and through some of this vegetation here along the perimeter, and see if I can pick up any ticks. I have collected ticks here before a couple of different times. They're extremely abundant, so I don't expect to have too many problems. And so this is early May, late April, early May, so Lone Star ticks should be pretty active. Should be picking up nymphs and adults still, and I'll hope to show you some of that as we move through. The last thing I'm going to talk about right now is I just want to show you a little bit about how I'm dressed. I haven't always been good about dressing appropriately when I collect ticks, but I have a light colored shirt, as you can see, and this helps me to see the ticks on my own clothing. Also have here some light colored tan pants, and I'm wearing socks and everything else. I don't know if I'm going to tuck those in, but it is good to tuck your pants into your socks and make sure you tuck your shirt into your pants as well. I also want to mention that the clothing that I'm wearing is treated with a pesticide called permethrin. You can buy this clothing from several manufacturers. It's already pre-treated, and according to the manufacturers, it will remain effective in repelling ticks and other arthropods, things like mosquitoes and biting flies and that sort of thing, for up to 70 washings. Now, my knowledge of ticks and how tenacious they can be tells me that I don't know if I should believe that it'll work that long, but even if it works through half that many washings, that's probably going to be the life of the product. But you know, this clothing in the past has worked for me to prevent me from getting as many tick bites, and there's a very important reason for why I take these precautions, especially in this particular area. And I'll give some segments later on and talk a little bit more about my personal experience. So I'm also going to be wearing a bandana that has also been treated with this product to kind of protect my head. You can buy these as well. So I'm wearing socks, pants, and shirt, and a bandana to try to prevent myself from getting any tick bites. And I've had plenty here before, so I have reason to be concerned. So that's all for this segment. I'll come back later after I've started collecting some ticks and explain some of that.